Hi, my name is Christina Wilson, and I'm here to present my community, school, and parent partnership project. It is called the SPEAR Project, Closing the Gap for Disadvantaged Students. The SPEAR Project is an after-school program that aims to create a supportive environment for disadvantaged and English language learners, also known as ELL students, addressing their non-academic barriers to academic success. In my 2 years that I've been teaching now at North Cobb High School, I have noticed that a significant amount of my students have a lot of non-academic distractions. So things like having to work a job to help support their family, all the way through to for English language learners, not being able to have the appropriate translation services for all of their subjects. So there is a lot of data that I have researched that supports this initiative for the after school program, and I'd love to tell you more about it. So just a quick overview. There's 3 things that I focused on in this project, which was the communication, the collaboration, and support of these students. So providing essential resources like tutoring, therapy, and involving families with outreach and getting them involved in their students' academic journey. The initiative sets to close the significant achievement gaps that are identified with these groups in terms of U.S. history, algebra, and some other subjects that you will learn about here. So the failure to support these groups in addressing the needs of these economically disadvantaged and ELL students is crucial, because it can significantly limit their future opportunities in higher education and even in their career. So the main goals of the SPEAR project are to improve academic performance by providing support after school, giving these children an area to speak openly, be heard, have support for not only their mental and emotional, but also their academics, through not only peer tutoring, mentors, and teachers, volunteer teachers, but also through professional help, and also fostering that parent engagement in educational processes by, providing translation services for parents so they don't feel uncomfortable getting involved in their students' academics, and also just reaching out to parents and creating that communication and collaboration between them. So some of the identified needs, data that I've discovered through our CCRPI scores is that our students who are economically disadvantaged, which represent almost 55% of our population at North Cobb, and English language learners, which is almost closer to 8% at North Cobb, they're not meeting the key academic benchmarks for subjects like algebra, U.S. history, and American literature, which are directly impacting their educational outcomes. If they're not, doing well in these subjects, they're not able to pass high school, and that's a huge problem for a lot of these children. Many students face non-academic barriers like family obligations, which, again, they might have to work a job to help support their family. Just as an example, this can create a lot of anxiety for students, a huge distraction for students. I've noticed that a lot of my students are very exhausted at school. They might be falling asleep at their desk. And when I inquire about this, a lot of them say, well, I had to work late last night, or I'm exhausted because, I was up taking care of my brother or sister, just little things like this that, can, or maybe they didn't hand in their homework, and I inquire further about it. And there's so many things that they talk about, not to get too in depth about people's, problems that they have in their life, but it's just a big distraction from their studies. And so I think that addressing the needs of these students is super important for ensuring educational equity, and not just equality, but equity. So to get into some of the research, here's the school performance CCRPI scores, and not as significantly low, but compared to district and state scores, it is a lot lower. So I chose to address these needs. You can see here in the data table that the red flags that are indicated for the economically disadvantaged and English learners, there's a lot of red flags here. Obviously American literature, economically disadvantaged, we met our improvement target, but there's a lot of red flags here. So what is it and how will it help? What is the Spirit Project? Like I mentioned before, communication, collaboration, and support. Communication, again, creating a safe space for children to come and talk to not only peers and teachers, but also professionals. Collaboration, again, getting parents involved, making sure that parents have the tools that they need to better support their child's academics, and also the support. So not just peer tutoring, but also, teacher tutoring and getting students from maybe Kennesaw State University or other neighboring universities who have maybe master's degree students that need the hours for, actually being involved in the community, allowing those people to come and help these students after school. And again, the peer tutoring and mentorship from volunteer teachers, students, and also those students from universities. So, SMART goals. This SPEAR project aims to implement an after-school academic support program focused specifically on subjects like American literature, algebra, and U.S. history, also biology. The success of the program will be monitored by measuring academic progress through benchmark assessments, with a target of 75% of participating students showing a 10% or greater improvement in at least one subject by the end of the program cycle. The program will start at the beginning of the school year, which is in August, and will end in April with a final evaluation in May. Students will be reviewed, their progress will be reviewed every 6 weeks as well. The initiative will go, so the after school program initiative will be 2 days a week after school as well. And I really truly believe that the resources that we need will already be there for us. There will not be a need for a major, amount of money that will need to all of a sudden be raised. I believe that, getting directly involved in the school, asking for volunteers from students, teachers, community, some of the businesses around our community, maybe reaching out to a local restaurant to provide food for the after school children, making sure that it's an all-encompassing thing. And just comparatively, there is one other school in Cobb County that has created this, initiative on campus. So they actually have a community center on campus, which is where I've kind of compared my initiative to one that's already been successful. But Osborne High School is has an extremely high level of the economically disadvantaged and English language learner population, even bigger than North Cobb High School. And they've created a whole student method approach to, and not just focusing on, well, you're not doing well in school, we're just going to provide the peer, tutoring or, a tutor after school, but an actual place where they could go and speak about their anxiety, or maybe they're struggling with depression, somewhere they can get professional help for those problems. Or maybe they, don't have food, or maybe they don't have someone to talk to. And so that initiative, that partnership that's at Osborne High School is extremely successful in, not just developing the academics of the student, but focusing and encompassing the entire student, not just, their academics, but their mental, their emotional. And the more that we focus on the mental, emotional well-being of our students and providing them with the resources that they need to help them in these areas, can significantly help not just themselves as a person, but also their academics, because they'll be able to be more focused on their school when they feel like they are fully cared for, that their mental and emotionals taken care of, they have food, and they have support. So that is my presentation, and I really am grateful that you were here and listened to it. Thank you so much.